kawo da manufin da yake da shi da zai ba mutanen Ghana da a samu yadda a gare shi da yake so ya zo ko ya zo takara da mu dai sani ba dai amma mun san dai abin da zai fito da shi kenan ko me kace mana
no shine no kenan a gisan video ne ya zo later in the day yesterday of course isa da dama yawanci ba samu hanya sun duba wannan video ko ni da kaina ma daga baya ma na je na duba video na sabila kisan yawan suna nan na aikin su da suke yin shin ba mi sha kai gida bisa mai sa kamar na ka sani nan abin na TV saboda muna so mu duka mu samu mu be on the same level isa da mu kawo muku video na so ku ji abin na former Minister na Trade Industry Honorable Alan Chairman aka Alan Cash wanda ya kawo nufin shi ko kawo ya shinan shi ma ne manufofin shi da yake so ya saya kam ya binga zama shi wanda dai sai a tutan na MPP in Allah ya yarda cike so ya zo ya zama president in Ghana shi kuma ya kawo nashin zatutuka wai kuma the fact kama mangonin na yayi yawanci kina kuma he spoke from of course from a trade minister's perspective. It was all about transformational plan, infrastructure. It was all about industrializing. Yes, yes. Kuma ekawe GTP, we Ghana transformational plan. We the 7 levels, 7-year plan, 7 levels money. All of it in Namuduka Munjis Magane for this. I wasn't expecting him to say anything rather than looking at how best he can use his experiences in the office in the education. You'll see to it come on the infrastructure aspect of the nation. Yaduba, as he said, we based on the foundation Sugar Bankasa Yekiyi. Where they build another solid, they build Nashika on that solid foundation, but he do it differently. Yes, Shimaya is the way so for being a Sugar Bankasa. Yali foundation na ama shidi zo tora na shi foundation kuma kan foundation na shugaban kasa
wanda zai
exactly they stabilizing shi bayan wannan kuma wai shi dai na shi ne yayi shi daban yasa jama'a da mu kawo ku video na mu ji ra'ayin shi da tutukan shi. I think after the video na ba za mu sake zuwa cikin studio kuma yasa a daidai wannan lokaci mu ce gona mu godiya da ku samu dama kuka duba program na coffee so program na ko dace da shi program ko ba shi lakabi Laira Bafi shine Tsarin Safiya anan Bena TV daga Benab House Atomic Junction kenan sunana Abdul Manaf Yusuf mai lakabi different phase ina tare da abokin aiki na
Zulaihat Muhammad kamar ne
bari introduce ki da kyau mana go ahead don't mind me don't mind me
shikenan na baka ba da
no don't mind me
shikenan da zamu aje a karshen shirin mu kenan tare da ku kamar da muka ga muna aikin afuwa ba kuma mun samu mun kawo ta cikin gida ba insha Allah za mu sake kawo ta a cikin gida mu tattauna da ita kuma ku ga irin nata bai wanda ita kuma Allah ya bata kenan muna neman irin su dewa duk wanda kana da wani abu a cikin zango da kake so ka fito mutane su sani to ka zo Baina TV muna da platform da muke ba kan shirin mu na Tsarin Safiya kowane ranar Laraba muna fito da mutane duk wani bai wanda kana da wani aiki wani talent wani abu kake da kana buyi kowa bai sabon da kake ba zo Baina TV akan abin ga Tsarin Safiya kowane ranar Laraba akan muna da personality profile da kuma celebrity profile da muke kawo duk wani abun da kake kana taimaka ma al'umma ne kana so a ganka ne zo Baina TV za mu dora ka shi kai magana da producer mu in ta kanka man ka dace da irin abin gamu da muke da shi daga nan policies mu da irin abin da muke da shi Baina TV to mun kawo ka al'umma kowa ya ganka kai ma a ga abin da kake yi gaba ɗaya kenan a daidai wannan lokaci za mu ce kuma muna gudunma duk masu zama duk kowane lokaci kuke kallon Baina TV muna gode muku a madadin abokan aiki na shin ce kuma ina gaida Suwadi Yakubu executive producer mu Halima audio UP kenan da kuma program manager mu abin ga Fauzu da kuma abokin aiki na Muhammad Jaman da yazo taya mu Malam Fari yau bai zo ya muna sports ba ko kuma ta ko ranar Laraba bai kawo muna abin ga saboda ya kawo cikakkun labarin nan ranar Juma'a ta gida abokin aiki na Salma Ahmed Bandawo kenan muke ci da MCR mu Mauko da ni da kuma Sami kenan mun gode muku sosai da wannan suke taimaka ake kawo muku shirin mu na Tsarin Safiya na ga mu nan zamu ce kamar to ku ci gaba da kallon Baina TV shi mun kawo muku news mu da karfe 5:30 kenan mana
insha Allah yasa no shine kenan MCR mu kudos to the guys in the MCR Obia wana master cikin MCR. Obia wana master. Kwana sa magana nake nga obia wana master ewa MCR. Ya do MCR ono ma na chairman wana your boss. Isa governance ya ba ewa MCR. Isa jama da mu kama ku video no ku duba. Isa adedi mango lokaci inda ba ku gamu ba mun sana cikin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Of Ghana. Let me start first by wishing you all a happy, healthy, productive, and a prosperous new year. Secondly, I wish to express formally my profound gratitude to His Excellency the President for the opportunity given me to serve the good people of Ghana in his administration over the last 6 years, and for graciously accepting my resignation as Cabinet Minister responsible for trade and industry with effect from the 16th of January 2023. Thirdly, I wish to use this platform to formally announce my decision to contest the flag bearership of the new patriotic party when the party officially opens nominations for that purpose. His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been a good friend of mine and will always remain so, based on our shared commitment to the ideals and principles that inspired the founding fathers of our great party, the new patriotic party. We have competed in the past, but have always worked together thereafter. The President has laid a strong foundation for the socio-economic development of our country, although I believe there are things that could have been done differently. My vision is to build a superstructure on this foundation that will bring prosperity to our nation. The pre-COVID-19 performance of our economy, the flagship programs, including the free SHS, the One District, One Factory initiative, the Planting for Food and Jobs program, the Agenda 111 project, and the COVID-19 response initiatives are all testimony of the strong leadership that the President has provided over the last 6 years. In spite of all the above, however, it is an undeniable fact that the combined effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war has stampeded our country into a crisis of unprecedented proportions, with a negative impacts on the economy, on businesses, and on our social lives. I have no doubt that the anticipated International Monetary Fund IMF support package will restore confidence in our economy and bring it back to pre-COVID levels. Fellow countrymen and women, this is the 17th time that we have gone to the IMF over the last 57 years. We promised never to go back, but we've gone back. One of the lessons that we have learned from the recent developments is that Ghana's economy is still fragile, vulnerable, and susceptible to both external and domestic shocks. This primarily is as a result of the fact that our economy is highly dependent on the export of commodities with little or no value addition. Indeed, the 5.1% projected GDP growth for the Ghanaian economy for 2023 is based on the anticipated increase in commodity prices. To avoid going back to the IMF, we need a new plan, a plan that will lead us to a more self-reliant and resilient economy. That plan must move Ghana from stability and growth to transformation. Fellow countrymen and women, if by the will of God and through your goodwill, I'm voted first as the flag bearer of the MPP and subsequently as President of the Republic in the next general elections, I will become the transformational leader of our time, who will build on the foundations that have been laid by successive leaders of our nation over the last 65 years. To achieve this strategic goal of transforming our dear country to become the shining star of the new Africa, I will, as President, launch and lead the execution of the Great Transformational Plan, GTP of Ghana, which will span the period 2025 to 2030. The post-COVID economic recovery program, currently being implemented with the anticipated support from the IMF from 2023 to 2025, will be a transitional economic program leading to the recovery program of this great transformational plan. Countrymen and women, before I proceed, provide a brief insight into the key elements of this great transformational plan. 7 critical considerations will need to be taken into account to guarantee the success of the plan. First, the primacy of the private sector in our national development agenda. The private sector, both domestic and foreign, formal and informal, has to be at the center of our transformational agenda. The government's focus must be to facilitate the process of making our private sector competitive by creating an enabling environment for businesses. 2, attitude to work and enforcement of discipline. We as a people should appreciate the need for discipline in all spheres of our national lives and change our attitude to work. Whether you are working for the private sector, corruption and petty theft or thievery, particularly from the public purse, deny our country the benefits of utilizing its tax revenue and other resources for the development of our country. 4, the arrogance of power has been a major obstruction to progress in our country. People in positions of authority must understand that leadership is an opportunity to serve the people and not to lord over them. In servant leadership, humility is an asset and not a weakness. 5, passion for excellence. As a country, we must celebrate competence and excellence and not mediocrity. 6, as a people, we must focus more on getting things done than just talking. Ghana is gradually becoming a NATO country. No action, talk only. We need to remember that the use of time is a zero-sum game. What Ghana needs now are solutions and actions, not debates. 7, and last but not the least, our politics in Ghana is too divisive. This keeps out some of our best talents in offering themselves for political appointments. Yes, we pride ourselves as being the bastion of democracy in Africa, but that does not mean that we should allow partisan politics to destroy our collective interests. These 7 critical considerations outlined above will provide what I would describe as the soft power for the effective implementation of our great transformational plan. Fellow countrymen and women, let me now provide a brief synopsis of the great transformational plan. The GTP will be anchored on the following key pillars. 1, a strong macroeconomic environment. The success of the GTP will depend primarily on strong macroeconomic fundamentals, which would include, among other things, a stable currency, low inflation, sustainable debt levels, revenue optimization, and tight expenditure control to guarantee fiscal balance, low competitive interest rates, strong external reserves backed by high levels of liquidity to support the financial sector. To a large extent, the IMF support program, when fully executed, will create the appropriate conditions that will underpin the great transformational plan. 2, a new agricultural revolution, in brief, NAR for Ghana. The NAR will be based on 5 critical elements. 1, optimizing value to farmers by the establishment of farmer-owned large-scale commercial farms and processing facilities, which will bring the full benefits of the agricultural value chain to farmers. 2, introducing technology and innovation into agriculture through research and development in agronomy, mechanization, irrigation, and plantation management. This will build on the foundations laid by the Planting for Food and Jobs and plotting for export and rural development programs. Our farmers cannot be competitive without technology and innovation. 3, the establishment of licensed food distribution and marketing companies by the private sector throughout the country at the district level to be supported by the government. These companies will constitute a vital link between farmers and market queens in the urban and peri-urban areas. It will be complemented by the introduction of a digitized food distribution and marketing online platform which will connect producers to buyers and consumers. 4, the strengthening of the Ghana Commodity Exchange as the marketplace for all actors in the agricultural value chain. 5, deepening the current regime for lending and financing for the agricultural sector. 6, enhancing the deregulation of the cocoa sector by deepening private sector participation in the buying and marketing, including export of cocoa. 7, mass citizens' participation in agriculture by introducing an Operation Own a Farm program for the Ghanaian citizenry in general. 3, industrial transformation. This will build on the successes of government's 10-point industrial transformation program, including the One District, One Factory initiative, the establishment of strategic anchor industries to diversify the economy beyond cocoa and gold. For example, the automobile assembly, garments and textiles, pharmaceutical industry, enhancing the growth and development of small and medium enterprises, establishment of industrial parks and special economic zones, and supporting domestic retail trade and distribution. 4, accelerated infrastructure development.